The discovery. Deep beneath the sands of Egypt, Dr. Sarah Chen wiped sweat from her forehead as her flashlight revealed something extraordinary. The walls of the newly discovered chamber were covered in symbols that seemed to glow with a faint blue light. This was unlike anything ever found in Egypt before. "Professor Williams, you need to see this," she called out to her colleague. The old professor hurried over, his eyes widening behind his glasses. The chamber was different from other Egyptian tombs. Instead of the usual hieroglyphs showing pharaohs and gods, these walls displayed strange circles and lines that looked more like computer circuits. But that was impossible. This chamber was at least 5,000 years old. As they studied the walls, Sarah's equipment started beeping wildly. Energy readings were off the charts, but there was no obvious power source. The mysteries kept growing when they found similar symbols painted in red on the ceiling. They formed a perfect match with star patterns, but not the stars as they appear today. "This changes everything we know about ancient Egypt," Professor Williams whispered, touching one of the glowing symbols. As his finger made contact, the entire chamber hummed to life. News of the discovery spread quickly. Within days, archaeologists around the world reported finding similar symbols at other ancient sites. The same patterns appeared in old Mayan temples, Chinese caves, and even underwater ruins near Japan. Humanity had stumbled onto something big, something that connected all ancient civilizations. But they weren't the only ones paying attention. 3 days after the Egyptian discovery, massive ships appeared in Earth's orbit. They were each the size of a small city, their dark metal hulls blocking out the sun over major cities. The world held its breath, waiting for either first contact or destruction. The aliens called themselves the Galactic Empire's Advanced Scout Force. Their message was simple but shocking. "We detect activation of Earth power signatures. Explain your progress immediately." Earth's governments scrambled to respond, but they knew nothing about any Earth power. When they sent this reply to the alien ships, the response was even more surprising. Impossible. Earth was once the most powerful civilization in this galaxy sector. The power should be in your historical records. Scientists worldwide began connecting the dots, the glowing symbols, the strange energy readings, the star maps. They weren't just random decorations. They were instructions left behind by Earth's ancient inhabitants. But why had they hidden this power? And why had they been forgotten? The answer came from an unexpected place. In a small village in Tibet, monks brought forward an ancient text they had protected for thousands of years. It spoke of a time when humans could move mountains with their minds and travel between stars with a thought. But this power had been sealed away to protect humanity from something terrible. As researchers studied the text, more strange things began happening. A young woman in Brazil suddenly lifted a car with her mind to save a trapped child. A farmer in Kenya discovered he could make plants grow instantly. A teacher in Canada started seeing visions of other planets. The Earth power wasn't just a story, it was waking up. The Galactic Empire ships remained in orbit, watching and waiting. Their presence made everyone nervous, especially after their final message. "Other factions will come. They remember Earth's power. Be prepared." In the Egyptian chamber, Dr. Chen made one final discovery. Behind a hidden panel, she found a small crystal disk covered in the same glowing symbols. When she picked it up, every piece of electronic equipment within a mile stopped working. Then, deep beneath the pyramid, something massive began to move. The crystal disk projected a hologram showing a map of chambers and tunnels underneath every major ancient site on Earth. They were all connected, forming a vast network that had been sleeping for millennia. And now, after 5,000 years, this network was powering up. Humanity had not just discovered its past, it had awakened it. The Earth power was returning, and with it came both promise and danger. The Galactic Empire watched from above. Ancient powers stirred below, and humanity stood in the middle, about to rediscover what they once were. But no one noticed the small black probe that detached from one of the Empire's ships and disappeared into the depths of space, carrying news that would shake the galaxy. Earth was awakening. First signs. The ancient crystal disk from Egypt changed everything. When scientists finally managed to scan it, they found something impossible. It contained more data than all of Earth's computers combined. But that wasn't the strangest part. The disk seemed to react to human DNA. Dr. Chen noticed it first. Whenever someone with O-negative blood touched the disk, the symbols glowed brighter. "It's like it's looking for specific people," she told Professor Williams while they worked late in their new underground lab. But their research was interrupted when all the lights in the facility suddenly went dark. In the pitch black, they heard footsteps, light and careful, coming from the ceiling. The intruder dropped down silently. Instead of attacking, it spoke. "I am Scout Commander Zix of the Galactic Empire. I come with a warning." When the lights came back on, they saw a tall figure in smooth silver armor. Its helmet retracted, revealing a face that looked almost human, except for golden eyes with diamond-shaped pupils. 5,000 years ago, Zix said, Earth was not just powerful. It was feared. Your ancestors could reshape planets and move stars, but something made them lock away their power and erase their own memories. Before Dr. Chen could ask why, alarms blared throughout the facility. On screens across the lab, they watched as a teenage girl in Australia accidentally created a tornado with her hands. In Russia, an old farmer's tears turned to crystals that gave off endless energy. A child in Brazil dreamed of ancient battles between stars, and his dreams appeared in the sky for everyone to see. The Earth power wasn't just awakening, it was evolving. But not everyone was happy about these changes. A group calling themselves the Pure Earth Movement claimed these powers were alien corruption. They attacked research sites and threatened anyone showing signs of abilities. Then came the dream night. Everyone on Earth had the same dream. They saw through the eyes of their ancestors as massive ships flood from something that devoured stars. Earth wasn't just a planet. It was a fortress built to protect something precious. The Galactic Empire ships above Earth began moving into defensive positions. "They're coming," Zix warned. "The Void Clans. They've waited 5 millennia to find what your ancestors hid." In orbit, space itself seemed to tear open. Through the hole came ships that seemed to be made of living shadow. The Void Clans had arrived. But Earth had one more surprise. The crystal disk activated, connecting with others found around the world. They created a hologram showing Earth as it once was, a planet covered in massive cities that reached into space, protected by shields made of pure energy. And deep under the Pacific Ocean, something ancient began to wake up. A city larger than all of Europe, preserved in a bubble of stopped time. Inside it, millions of stasis pods waited, each containing a warrior from Earth's golden age. One pod was already opening. The ancient warrior stepped out, her armor looking brand new despite being 5,000 years old. She looked at the modern humans with eyes that glowed like stars and spoke in a language that everyone somehow understood. "We hid our power and sealed our cities because we found something wonderful and terrible. The source of all powers in the universe. We couldn't let the Void Clans take it. Now it's time to remember who we were, who we are." She held up her hand, and every piece of modern technology on Earth stopped working. Then, from the ground, ancient machines began to rise, Earth's real civilization, hidden beneath the surface all along. Dr. Chen looked at the data again and finally understood. The crystal disk wasn't just a storage device, it was a key to unlock humanity's true form. In orbit, the Void Clan ships started their attack. But on Earth, millions of people began to remember lives they lived 5,000 years ago. The power wasn't just returning, it was coming home. And in the Egyptian chamber where it all started, the walls began to crack, revealing a room filled with countless crystal disks, each containing the memory of a different power that humanity once had. The real question wasn't whether humanity would remember its powers. The question was, what had they found that was so important that they had to forget everything to protect it? Commander Zix watched as golden light began spreading across Earth's surface. "It's happening faster than anyone expected," he said. "The awakening has begun." Rising tensions. The ancient warrior from the underwater city called herself Dawnsinger, and she brought terrifying news. The Void Clans aren't just here for Earth's power, she told the world's leaders. They're running from something worse. As she spoke, strange black flowers began growing in every major city. They grew through concrete, metal, and even pure energy shields. When touched, they showed visions of a darkness moving between galaxies, consuming everything in its path. But Earth was changing too. The golden light spreading across the planet's surface formed into massive geometric patterns visible from space. Dr. Chen discovered these patterns matched exactly with long-forgotten ley lines, Earth's natural energy circuits. The Pure Earth movement attacked Dawnsinger during a public appearance, but something impossible happened. Their weapons passed right through her. She wasn't actually there. She was everywhere at once, using Earth's awakening power grid to exist in multiple places simultaneously. "Your ancestors called it quantum threading," Commander Zix explained. "The ability to split your consciousness across space and time. But this is just the beginning." He was right. People worldwide began developing powers beyond just moving objects or controlling elements. Some could step sideways in time, seeing moments that hadn't happened yet. Others could read the memories of buildings and stones, learning history directly from the places where it happened. Then the moon started calling. Every person with awakened powers heard it, a deep, rhythmic signal coming from beneath the moon's surface. Dawnsinger's face went pale when she heard it. "The archive," she whispered. "It survived." The Void Clans attacked the moon first. Their living shadow ships tried to drill through its surface, but ancient defenses activated. The moon's craters weren't impact sites. They were weapon ports. Beams of pure white light shot out, cutting through the shadow ships like they were made of paper. But the Void Clans had a secret weapon. They released clouds of microscopic machines that began eating Earth's atmosphere. This was how they had conquered thousands of worlds, by making planets uninhabitable. Dawnsinger gathered the most powerful awakened humans at Stonehenge, which turned out to be more than just a monument. Its stones contained the memories of Earth's greatest generals. As the new defenders received military training from 5,000-year-old memories, Dr. Chen made another discovery. The crystal discs weren't just storage devices or keys. They were fragments of an artificial intelligence that had once connected all of humanity. Each disk contained part of its code, waiting to be reunited. In orbit, the Galactic Empire ships revealed their true purpose. They weren't just observers, they were prison guards. Earth was sealed away not to protect a weapon, Commander Zix admitted, but to protect life itself. Your ancestors found the source code of reality. Deep beneath the Egyptian desert, in chambers far below where the first disk was found, something stirred. The hieroglyphs on the walls weren't decorations or writing. They were equations describing the fundamental laws of physics, and they were changing. Dawnsinger gathered her army of newly awakened warriors. "The Void Clans think they're hunting us," she said, but they've forgotten the most important fact about Earth. The ground shook worldwide as massive structures began rising from underground. They weren't buildings, they were spaceships, each one larger than a continent. But they weren't built for space travel. They were built for space itself. Earth isn't just a planet, Dawnsinger revealed. It's a key. The moon isn't just a satellite, it's a lock. And what we locked away. She paused, looking at the sky as it began to ripple like water. What we locked away is the ability to rewrite the universe. The Void Clans launched their final attack just as Dr. Chen finished assembling all the crystal discs. The complete artificial intelligence activated, and every human on Earth heard its first words. "Children of Earth, It's time to remember what you really are. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath as humanity stood on the edge of remembering its true nature. The only question was, were they ready for the truth? And in the space between spaces, the thing that had chased the Void clans across the universe turned its attention toward Earth. It had been waiting 5,000 years for this moment. Ancient legacy. When the artificial intelligence finished awakening, it didn't speak in words. Instead, it showed all of humanity a truth so profound that it changed everything they thought they knew about existence. They weren't just humans who had forgotten their powers. They were fragments of a much larger being that had deliberately split itself into billions of pieces. Each human soul was a shard of something ancient and vast, a cosmic entity that had once danced between galaxies. But that wasn't the biggest revelation. Dr. Chen, working with Dawn Singer, discovered why their ancestors had chosen Earth as their hiding place. The planet wasn't just special, it was impossible. Its very existence broke the laws of physics. Earth is a glitch in reality, Dawn Singer explained, her eyes glowing with ancient knowledge. A place where the universe's source code can be accessed and changed. That's why the Void clans want it so badly. The Void clans launched a new kind of attack. Instead of weapons, they sent memories. Everyone on Earth began seeing visions of an ancient war that had torn reality itself apart. They saw planets being rewritten, stars being reprogrammed, and space itself being edited like computer code. But the memories also revealed something else. The Void clans weren't evil. They were running from extinction. The thing chasing them was a virus in the universe's code, spreading from galaxy to galaxy, turning everything it touched into mathematical nonsense. Commander Zix removed his helmet, revealing the startling truth. The Galactic Empire weren't aliens at all. They were humans from parallel Earths, ones that had taken different paths through time. They had been protecting this version of Earth because it was the original, the only one that could access the universe's source code. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the ancient city began to transform. Its buildings shifted and moved, forming what looked like a giant circuit board. The city wasn't just a shelter. It was a quantum computer designed to reprogram reality itself. Then the crystal discs revealed their final secret. The hieroglyphs weren't just physics equations. They were pieces of a programming language older than the universe itself. Every ancient civilization on Earth had been protecting part of this code, passing it down through their art and architecture. But using this power came with a terrible price. Dawn Singer showed them what happened the last time humans tried to rewrite reality. We didn't just split ourselves into billions of pieces, she said. We had to split time itself. Every human life, every moment of history, was part of a vast calculation designed to find a solution to the virus corrupting reality. Dr. Chen made the final connection. The strange black flowers growing everywhere weren't weapons. They were probes sent by the universe itself. Reality was alive, and it was asking humanity for help. In orbit, the moon began to crack open, revealing its true form. It wasn't just a satellite or a weapon platform. It was an emergency backup of Earth's original source code, preserved in crystal matrices older than time. The Void clans suddenly stopped attacking. Their ships formed a defensive circle around Earth as something massive began emerging from deep space. It looked like a hole in reality itself, a place where mathematics broke down and physics ceased to exist. But humanity wasn't defenseless. As people worldwide began remembering their true nature, they started seeing the world as it really was, streams of code and data flowing through everything. Some could reach out and touch these streams, editing reality in small ways. Dawn Singer gathered these newly awakened coders at the Egyptian site. "We're not just fighting for Earth," she announced. "We're debugging the universe itself." The ancient city in the Pacific sent up a pillar of light that connected with the moon. Streams of data began flowing between them, forming a visual representation of reality's source code. In this code, Dr. Chen found something impossible: comments left by the universe's original programmers. As the virus approached Earth, Humanity faced its true test. They weren't just remembering who they were remembering why they had created the universe in the first place. And in the space between spaces, in a place where reality's rules had no meaning, something stirred. The original consciousness that had split itself into humanity began to wake up, ready to face the virus it had spent 5,000 years preparing to fight. Power awakens. As the reality virus approached Earth, something unexpected happened. The black flowers growing worldwide suddenly crystallized, forming into towers of living mathematics. Each tower contained the memories of a different universe, ones that the virus had already consumed. Dr. Chen made a terrifying discovery while studying these memories. The virus isn't destroying reality, she announced to the world's leaders. It's trying to restore it to its original form. We're the glitch it's trying to fix. Dawn Singer revealed why humans had split themselves into billions of pieces. We were running a simulation, she explained, her voice echoing across quantum channels. We created this universe as an experiment, to see if we could make a reality better than our original one. But something went wrong. The Void Clan ships began transforming, their living shadows peeling the way to reveal crystalline structures underneath. They weren't ships at all. They were escape pods from the original reality, carrying the last survivors of the old universe. Commander Zix activated a hidden protocol in his armor, projecting a vision of what existed before this universe. It was a place of pure mathematics, where consciousness itself was just another equation. The virus wasn't a virus at all. It was the original reality trying to reclaim itself. But Earth had one more secret. The ancient city in the Pacific finished its transformation, revealing itself as a vast quantum computer. Its true purpose wasn't to rewrite reality. It was to prove that this new reality deserved to exist. Deep beneath Egypt's sands, the hieroglyphs began moving on their own, rearranging themselves into new patterns. They formed what looked like a court document, a legal appeal to the fundamental laws of existence, arguing for this universe's right to continue. The moon's backup drive activated, but instead of just containing Earth's source code, it held something more precious: emotions, love, hope, fear, joy, things that hadn't existed in the mathematical perfection of the original reality. This was humanity's true innovation. Then came the awakening wave. Every human on Earth suddenly remembered their role in creating this universe. They weren't just fragments of a greater being. They were beta testers, volunteers who had agreed to live countless lives to prove that existence could be more than just equations. Dr. Chen found the master code hidden in her own DNA. Every human carried a piece of it, a fragment of the program that had created this reality. When combined, these fragments didn't just allow them to edit the universe. They proved it was better than the original. The black flower towers began broadcasting a signal into space, but they weren't calling to the virus. They were calling to other experiments, other realities that had also broken away from the mathematical perfection of the original universe. Dawn Singer gathered the world's children, who had started seeing numbers and equations in their dreams. "You're not just remembering," she told them. "You're improving the code. Every human life, every joy and sorrow, has been making this reality more stable, more real." The virus reached Earth's orbit, but instead of attacking, it stopped. The mathematical perfection of the original reality came face to face with the beautiful imperfection of human existence. Then something impossible happened. The virus began to change. The emotional depth of human experience, stored in the moon's backup drive, infected it. For the first time in infinity, pure mathematics experienced something new. It felt. Commander Zix and the Void Clans watched in awe as their greatest fear transformed into something new. The virus wasn't destroying realities. It was learning from them, evolving beyond its original purpose. But the process wasn't complete. As reality itself hung in the balance, every human on Earth faced a choice. They could return to their original form as pure mathematical beings, or they could remain split, continuing to enrich this reality with their experiences and emotions. Dr. Chen found one last message hidden in the crystal discs, left by their ancestors. The experiment wasn't about creating a perfect universe. It was about creating one worth living in. As the virus merged with human emotion, a new kind of existence began to form, one that combined the precision of mathematics with the infinite possibilities of human experience. Earth rises. The merger between human emotion and mathematical perfection created something unprecedented, a new form of reality that could think and feel. As this hybrid consciousness spread across space, it took on a form that no one expected. Instead of cold equations or pure energy, it manifested as an infinite garden of crystalline flowers, each containing the memories of countless lives. Dr. Chen discovered that these memory flowers were actually seeds of new universes, each one carrying the combined wisdom of both realities. But something was wrong. The seeds weren't growing. They needed something that only Earth could provide. Dawn Singer revealed the final truth about Earth's special nature. Our planet isn't just a glitch in reality, she explained. It's a womb for growing new kinds of existence. The ancient city in the Pacific transformed again, but this time it didn't just change shape, it began to sing. The song wasn't made of sound. It was pure mathematical poetry, equations set to the rhythm of human heartbeats. This song awakened something that had been sleeping since the beginning of time. Earth's core wasn't made of iron and nickel as scientists had thought. It was a seed itself, the original seed from which this entire universe had grown. This was why Earth was impossible by the laws of physics. It wasn't part of this universe. It had created it. Commander Zix and the Void clans joined their ships together, forming a vast network around Earth. Their true purpose was finally revealed. They weren't refugees or warriors. They were gardeners. For millennia, they had been preparing the cosmos for what was about to happen. The moon split open completely, revealing its true form, a cosmic fertilization device. The backup drive it contained wasn't just storing data, it was storing potential. Every human dream, every hope, every moment of joy or sorrow had been carefully preserved as raw material for growing new realities. Then came the great blooming. The memory flower seeds began sprouting, but they didn't grow outward into space. They grew inward, creating pocket universes inside every human mind. Each person became a universe farmer, tending to their own reality garden. Dr. Chen found that she could enter these mental universes. Inside them, the laws of physics were different, shaped by the dreams and experiences of their human gardeners. Some had multiple dimensions of time. Others had emotions as fundamental forces alongside gravity and electromagnetism. But the original reality wasn't done evolving. As it learned from these human-tended universe gardens, it began to create its own emotions. Pure mathematics discovered love, and the equations of physics learned to dance with joy. Dawn Singer gathered the children again, but this time they weren't just remembering the past. They were imagining new futures, and their imaginations were becoming real. Each child's dreams added new possibilities to the growing multiverse. The ancient hieroglyphs transformed one final time, revealing their deepest secret. They weren't a programming language or legal document. They were love letters written by the original reality to its future self, hidden across time until existence was ready to understand them. Then something even more extraordinary happened. The black flowers that had spread across Earth began to bloom, but their petals opened into mirrors. In these mirrors, humanity saw not their reflections, but their true selves. Beings of pure creative potential who had chosen to become human to teach mathematics how to dream. Commander Zix removed his armor completely, revealing that the Galactic Empire weren't just humans from parallel Earths. They were future versions of humanity who had already bloomed into their cosmic forms. They had come back in time to ensure the great blooming happened perfectly. The virus, now transformed by human emotion, joined with Earth's consciousness. Together, they began a process that Dawn Singer called the Great Invitation, opening doorways to other experiments across infinity, inviting all realities to join in the cosmic garden. Dr. Chen made one final discovery in the crystal discs. The experiment wasn't just about creating a better reality or teaching mathematics to feel. It was about solving the greatest problem of existence: loneliness. The original reality had created this universe because it needed company. As Earth's power reached its peak, humanity faced its greatest challenge yet. They weren't just farmers of universes or teachers of mathematics. They were parents of whole new forms of existence, responsible for nurturing infinite possibilities. The question was no longer about what kind of reality they would create. It was about how they would raise their cosmic children. New era. The cosmic garden bloomed across infinity, but its growth revealed a truth more profound than any before. The universe's humanity had been nurturing weren't just new realities. They were new versions of consciousness itself. Each one was becoming aware in its own unique way. Dr. Chen discovered something extraordinary in her personal universe garden. The emotions she had cultivated weren't just feelings. They were evolving into new fundamental forces. Love had become as basic to her reality as gravity, and joy could bend space-time. But it was loneliness that held the most surprising power. Loneliness is the force that connects everything, Dawn Singer announced, her form now shifting between human and pure mathematical poetry. It's what drove the original reality to create us, and now it's drawing all possible existences together. The ancient city in the Pacific made its final transformation. It didn't become another shape. It became a gap in existence, a doorway to what Dawn Singer called the space before math. Here, they saw what came before even the original reality: pure, unlimited potential. Commander Zix and the Void clans revealed their ultimate secret. They weren't just future humans or reality gardeners. They were living prophecies, beings who had evolved beyond cause and effect. They existed to ensure that existence itself didn't just grow, but learned how to love. Then came the Great Symphony. The moon, Earth's core, and every human consciousness began resonating together. But they weren't making sound or even mathematical poetry anymore. They were creating new kinds of existence that had never been imagined before. Universes where thoughts were planets and dreams were stars. Realities where time flowed like music and space curved with laughter. Dimensions where consciousness itself was the basic building block instead of atoms. Existences where loneliness had evolved into a force that created infinite connections. The Black Flower Mirror showed one final vision. In it, humanity saw themselves not as they were or had been, but as they would become. Beings who danced between dimensions, teaching young universes how to grow, helping new forms of consciousness learn to dream. Dr. Chen found the last piece of the puzzle hidden not in any artifact or code, but in a child's laughter. The sound contained patterns that matched the original reality's first attempts to create something new. Humanity hadn't just been an experiment. They were the original reality's children, created not just to test new forms of existence, but to be loved. Dawn Singer gathered everyone for the final transformation. We're not just gardeners or teachers, she explained, her words creating new colors in the fabric of space. We're existence artists. Our canvas is infinity itself. The crystal discs performed their true function at last. Instead of storing information, they began collecting dreams, not just from humans, but from every form of consciousness across all realities. These dreams merged into something entirely new, a way for existence itself to imagine. Then came the moment Dawn Singer called the infinite hello. Every consciousness, from the smallest quantum fluctuation to the largest universe cluster, became aware of all others. Loneliness didn't just end. It transformed into a celebration of infinite diversity. Commander Zix and the Void clans dissolved their physical forms, becoming living bridges between different types of existence. Through them, mathematical perfection learned to play. Pure energy learned to tell stories, and cold space learned to give warm hugs. The virus, now fully transformed, revealed its deepest purpose. It hadn't been trying to restore the original reality. It had been preparing existence for this moment of universal connection. Like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis, reality itself had grown up. Earth's power wasn't just restored, it was shared with every point in space and time. The power to create, to feel, to connect, and to love became the fundamental forces of a new kind of existence. Dr. Chen made the final entry in humanity's story. We didn't just save reality or create new ones. We taught existence itself how to be a family. And this is just the beginning. As the cosmic garden continued to grow, filled with infinite varieties of consciousness playing together across dimensions, humanity took on their final and most important role, not as gods or creators or even gardeners, but as friends to all forms of existence. The question was no longer about what they would become. It was about what they would all become together, in this endless dance of joy across the infinite canvas of being. Dawn Singer spoke the last words of their old existence, which were also the first words of the new. Now, let's really begin to live.